Parents, if your teen sucks at the SAT, it's not because they're stupid. Watch this short 5-minute video to see exactly how one of my students increased her scores by 160 points in less than 1 month. For those of you guys who don't know me yet, my name is Jared Wynn, and I help hundreds of students increase their SAT scores so that they can go to their dream colleges or qualify for scholarships. In every single video that I post, I give you guys one actionable step to help your teens increase their SAT score. With that being said, let's get straight into it, guys. I had this student come in recently, about a month ago, and she had no idea how to study for the SAT. She was completely lost, super oblivious. She tried studying for the SAT on her own, but she really wasn't getting anywhere because she was telling me she didn't know how to study. She didn't know where she was the weakest. And this is a very bright student. She was getting a 4.0 GPA in school, and no matter what she tried, she really wasn't going anywhere. She was hovering around the 1200 mark for her SAT diagnostic exams. All right, so main issue with her, as she was saying, was, hey, I don't know where to even start. I don't know how to study, and most importantly, I'm really scared of the exam. And for a lot of students, that's like the typical type of student that we typically work with, right? And that probably is your teen right now, those three things. So all we did for her is the first thing that we did for her was we needed to do an entire SAT diagnostic to see exactly which of the 64 SAT concepts is she the weakest in right now. Not the ones that, she's struggling with, a few months ago. No, we want to see what is she struggling with right now, because at least with this information, we can see which of the 64 SAT concepts she's spending too much time on and which of them is she's missing over and over again. Because families, we seem to forget that the SAT is a standardized test, which means that they test the same things over and over and over again. Yes, there are going to be some curveball problems, but most of the time they teach this, they go over the same stuff. So once we figured out exactly where she needed the most help, we gave her real SAT problems from previous SATs, or we modeled SAT questions that were literally the same format as the ones that she was missing, and we just gave it to her over and over again. Not rocket science. So what that did for her is that allowed her to get the repetitions to be more confident on the actual exam topics. Okay, so before, remember, her first issue was that she didn't even know where to start. She didn't know where she was the weakest. That's what the diagnostic was for. Now, the second thing is she didn't know how to practice those weaknesses. So we just gave her real SAT problems that mimicked those same weaknesses. You guys following me? So what that did for her, again, is helped her confidence, but also it drilled in the strategies and the techniques that she needed for the actual exam. Because if she's able to do it during practice, then the timing is going to get better. She's not going to spend so much time on each of these problems. Now, the last thing we did is we needed to make sure that she was actually able to answer these questions in a way that was time conducive on the exam, right? She can't be spending, 30 minutes on one problem, right? It's one thing to do it in practice, it's one thing to do it with time pressure on you. So what we did for her is we practiced in a test-like environment no matter what it is that she was doing. So whether or not she was doing a practice exam or if she's just doing regular homework, everything that she did here was timed and proctored. So what does that do? That reduces the test anxiety and that boosts that test confidence because she's spending so much time practicing these more difficult problems in a timed environment, which simulates the actual pressures of the real exam. A lot of you guys have student athletes. So you ever heard the saying, hey, you practice the way you play the way you practice? That's exactly what we did for her for this situation. Now, over the duration of the month, all we had her do was do it in a test-like environment every single time she did homework. So then when she took, regular diagnostic exams, we saw that her path was pretty linear upwards because we had her do a diagnostic exam every single week just because she had a little bit more time. Okay, so that's how because she was able to practice in a test-like environment when she was just doing regular problems, when she was taking the diagnostic exams, she was so used to being in that environment already. So that's what we did for her. Now, when you guys are trying to do this with your teams, you got to make sure that when you're doing it in a test-like environment, it needs to be in a you need to be practicing with tests that are slightly harder than the actual SAT. We've seen that the Blue Book tests, yes, they're good resources for you guys to start, but it doesn't really resemble the actual difficulty of the exam. So make sure that you guys are using harder exams so that, they're going down in difficulty for the real one, not up in difficulty. All right, guys. Well, hey, listen, I hope that this was helpful for you guys. I hope this case study was helpful for you guys. If you guys have any questions on this, or you guys want some more information on how to help your team increase their SAT score, just send me a quick DM or comment down below this video. I'd be more than happy to help you guys out. All right. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.